Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Govinda Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Ki Shri Maya Purnajutan Ki Shri New Yogavir Ki Nila Govardhanande All glories to the Son of the Lord Glories to the Son of the Lord Sarasvara Sagrana Bhaktam Jai Shri Shri Guru Gram Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Happy end of the week, Saturday, again. Congratulations on crossing another week on our victorious journey closer to death or Krishna, or both. Hare Krishna. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jayo Gopijana Vallabha Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Vishnu Pad Brahmamsa Parivrajikacharya Stottara Sutta Sri Srimadri Nanda Goswami Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Randraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Jai Gaur Brahmanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. Jai Shri Shri Guru Granth Prabhupada Ki Jai. This celebration. Somebody is reading. Nekdo bere. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 5, The Demigods Appeal to the Lord. And we are reading verses 17, 18, 19, 20. But we will probably chant only verse 17. So, trouble in the paradise. Hare Krishna. Demigods are in the paradise and it's not working. They are dying, demons are winning, so they have to do something. So 17. Nishamyai tat suragana, Nishamyai Mahendra Varunadaya, Mahendra Nadya Gachan Swayam Mantrair, Nadya Gachan Mantrayanto Vinishchitam, Nishamyaitat Suragana, Mahendra Varunadaya, Nadya Gachan Swayam Mantrair, Mantrayanto Vinishchitam. Tatsuragana Mahendra Varunadaya Nadya Gachan Swayam Mantrair Mantrayanto Vinishchitam Nisamyai Tatsuragana Mahendra Varunadaya Nadya Gachan Swayam Mantrair Mantrayanto Vinishchintam Nisamyai Tatsuragana Mahendra Varunadaya Nadya Gachan Swayam Mantrair Mantrayanto Vinishchitam. You want to chant? Nishamyai Tatsuragana Mahendra Varunadaya Nadya Gachan Swayam Mantrair Mantrayanto Vinishchitam. Nishamya, hearing. Etat, this incident. Suragana, all the demigods. Maha Indra, King Indra, he whose name was Mantra Druma. What was his name? Mantra Druma, yes. Mantra 3. Mantra. We have mantra here in this verse several times. Mantrair, mantrayanto. You have this word Mandarin. Mandarine? Yes. It's coming from the Sanskrit word mantra. Because mantra means advice, then it became became Mandarin in China, the minister or the ruler, and from it was like a special fruit for the minister, so Mandarins were called after Mandarin, after mantra, mantrin. So next time you see somebody on the street, you say, do you know Mandarin? So it's from mantra, and we have mantras here. It's everything from here. So mantra Druma Mahaindra. Varuna Adayam. Varuna and other demigods. Na, not. Adyagachan, reached. Swayam, personally. Mantraih, by deliberation. Mantrayanta, discussing. Vinishchitam. Okay, that's, yeah. A real conclusion. We can read the rest. Tata, thereupon. Brahma Sabham, to the assembly of Lord Brahma. Jagmu, they went. Mero, of Sumeru mountain. It's like you're going to Strasbourg to the International Court in Human Rights. These demons. Murdhani, on the top. Sarvasha, all of them. Sarvam, everything. Vigyapayan chakruh, they informed. Pranata, offered obeisances. Parameshtine, unto Lord Brahma. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Lord Indra, Varuna, and the other demigods, seeing their lives in such a state, consulted among themselves, but they could not find any solution. Then all the demigods assembled and went together to the peak of Sumeru mountain. There, in the assembly, they have visa-free travel to Sumeru and other planets. It's paradise, so they can go. There, in the assembly of Lord Brahma, they fell down to offer Lord Brahma their obeisances, and then they informed him of all the incidents that had taken place. So, all good, right? No. Because, 1920, Savilokendra Vaivadin Niksatvan Vigata Prabhan Lokana Mangala Prayan Asurana Yatha Vibhu Samahitena Manasa Samsmaran Purusham Param Uvachot Pulavadano Devan Savagavan Para. Upon seeing that the demigods were bereft of all influence and strength, Nih sattva, no spiritual potency, and vigata prabha, no effulgence. So like normally you have this much effulgence, and then on some days you look a little darker. So he sees, oh, they are darker, okay. So bereft of all influence and strength, and that the three worlds were consequently devoid of auspiciousness, amangala prayan. And upon seeing that the demigods were in an awkward position, whereas all the demons were flourishing, Lord Brahma, who is above all the demigods and who is most powerful, concentrated his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, being encouraged, he became bright-faced and spoke to the demigods as follows. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. After hearing from the demigods the real situation, Lord Brahma was very much concerned because the demons were unnecessarily so powerful. When demons become powerful, the entire world is placed in an awkward position, because demons are simply interested in their own sense gratification and not in the welfare of the world. Demigods or devotees, however, are concerned with the welfare of all living beings. Srila Rupa Goswami, for example, left his ministership and went to Vrindavan for the benefit of the entire world. Lokanam hitakarino. This is the nature of a saintly person or demigod. Even impersonalists think of the welfare of all people. Thus Brahma was very much concerned at seeing the demons in power. Om Agyanatimirandasya Agyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Yasya Prasadadagyopi Sadik Sarvagyatam Rajet Sashi Chaitanya Devame Bhagavan Samprasidatu Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Trouble is inevitable in this world. Duhkalayam ashashvatam. Duhka, it's the misery machine. That's how this machine is made. Not by design, but by our nature. And if by chance you are not suffering, it's even worse, because you will die. If it's good, it's even worse, because you're just about to lose it. Ashashvatam. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. Both sides are troublesome. So this is Dukalayam Ashashvatam. Anityam Asukham Lokam. Asukham Lokam means this world is not easygoing. And if it is easygoing, there's something wrong. Something wrong. And we see Indra had he is not in heaven, he is the king of heaven. He's not Indra, he's Maha Indra. So he's really got it made. He's on top. And then, small mistake, he didn't carry the garland long enough on his neck and on his chest. Sometimes we see, I don't know, it seems that devotees already don't do this so much, but sometimes there is some Maha garland and one devotee is trying to give to another devotee, and this devotee is blocking, he's dodging, blocking, he's like expert martial, expert boxer, trying to escape the garland. Because no, I'm not good for this. Yes, I'm not so elevated. The garlands is for big devotees. I'm a very small devotee. A very small devotee. However, we see that Indra lost the whole kingdom, and the whole universe was suffering because he didn't carry the garland long enough. So in India, you see people usually are very enthusiastic about every kind of prasad. So garlands, please, thank you. Fire, it's when they carry out the lamp, you have to be very careful because there's going to be a stampede. Stampede, like a big crowd rushing. Fire, let me touch. Have you seen in India? Yes. Water. Water is easier because it's thrown usually from the altar. In fact, this is exclusively started by one Swami in ISKCON. This because he had glasses, so he didn't like when they throw it from the altar. So now we have it very, very gentle, on the top of the head a little bit, which is nice. Many things we have very democratic and generous, in the sense of, like in India now we have 5 days of the Julan Yatra, Hare Krishna. What's Julan? What's Julan? Kako? Ne. Swing. Kako? Gogalica. Gugalica. Gugalnica. Gugalnica, okay. Se googlaš ali kako? Gugaš. Yes. Because it's hot. Not hot, it's hot and humid. No. And what do? You swing. And it's like if you come to, as a guest somewhere, they put you on a swing and then you swing, and it's very pleasant. Here on that next street, if you go, you can see there is one swing also. Usually it's for children, but in India, people maintain the childhood enthusiasm till they die. It's very nice actually. I remember watching some construction from a roof of where I stayed, and the guys, Indian guys, they brought a tractor with sand. Tractor with big wheels. They brought, dumped the sand, and then they go back. So any Western driver, he would go around. Now they decided to go over the sand, and they go and they can't because it's very high. So and go back because the sand heap is very high. The wheel doesn't reach. So then again, every Western person, after trying, they would just go around. But then no, they all looked back. How high? Okay, tractor. So then they press harder, and they go through, and they are happy. Yes, we made it. It's fun. We all like a little fun, and so we keep a little fun till we die. There's no harm. It will not kill over this tractor. But I could see I was very impressed how they have this. So also here we have usually swing for children, but in India it's for adults. Not only in India, also everywhere we have some special swing in the porch, in the garden. Yeah, they sell some swing. Yeah. Sometimes with a little canopy from the sun, so you can feel a little breeze, a little wind. So Julan Yatra. So in India, the deities, these 5 days, all the deities are on a swing. And you come to the temple and you can see the deities are on a swing. Also in ISKCON around the world, usually we have this festival. And like Radharaman, he has a silver swing. Not just a swing, but a silver throne on a silver swing. So you can come and you can look and say, wow, my Lord has a silver swing. This is cool. But in every temple, even our temple, means Gaudiya temple, Krishna, only the pujari can do. But in our ISKCON temple, everybody loves, because you come and you have big swing and you have Utsav Murti of Radha Shyamasundar, special Murtis of Radha Shyamasundar, and every guest can approach. They throw a few drops to clean the hands, and then they come and they can swing, So depending on how bona fide you look, you can get 1 second or even 15 seconds. If you have dhoti and kantimala and tilak, okay, you get 5-10 seconds. If you just, pants and, okay, 2 seconds, next. And then, it's not it, they give you sweets. Of course, this is the temple, so you do a little seva, then sweets. Normal, right? Different sweets, they give you sweets. And then there is, if you want, you can give donation. Also must be there, because people want to give, and sometimes it's difficult, not so easy to give. Some tray for donations. So we have it available everywhere. So in our temples it is available. So what I'm saying is that Mahaprasad, I started by saying that in India you can see people are very eager for Mahaprasad. Our very famous Radha Govinda in Jaipur, a very interesting who has been in Govindaji in Jaipur? Have you been to Govindaji in Jaipur? It's one is popular to go for the Mangalarati, and they had an interesting system for maintaining the temple. They had the king's family and servants. Whoever missed Mangalarati, they had to give some fixed fine, like 5,000 rupees, and from this, that was the going to the deities for maintaining 5,000 rupees for maintaining. So there you have very tasty Mahaprasad, bundi laddu. These are little balls fried in ghee soaked in sugar water, made in balls. So then you buy this Mahaprasad, and it's a very simple recipe, but from different temples it tastes differently. Some temples it tastes like some mercy bomb. You put in the mouth and it's like a bomb of mercy. You feel, Krishna is wonderful. Before you go around and you think, oh, life is tough, and then you take this, put it inside, no, Krishna is good. It's a psychological mercy bomb of prasadam. So then you buy it, and it's very interesting. They give you, depending on the donation, they give you a bigger or smaller bag, and then everybody is looking at you. Yes, they look at Govindaji, and then they see you bought Mahaprasad, they look at you. And then they look, what will you do? You can just put it, in and go away. So then they look back at Govindaji. Or many people, they buy like 2 bags. One bag they take for home and friends, and one bag they look around to give. And then all the guests, they move in and they take some of this Mahaprasad, which, is a loving exchange. People are not so hungry, that it's not that we miss a little bit of, this fatty, sugary sweet. Nowadays everybody can have it, but they come to accept Mahaprasad, take Mahaprasad from everybody, which is also for India is a big step. You don't take food from anybody. Plus, it's given by the hand. So now here it's just the pandemic rules. Somebody is giving. We look. What are his hands? Does he have a glove? Sorry. Did he wash the hand? But in India, it's always like this. That the Brahmana, he will always keep the hands washed. But others, how do you know? You never know. Hare Krishna. I remember in Dubai, in an airport, I'm sorry, I think, they've already finished. I went to the restroom, and I saw a guy from a restaurant with a cook, with the cook's white cap. They have these caps, white gown, dressed as a cook, who went to the urinal, and then from the urinal he went straight out of the door. He didn't divert to wash the hands. who does this, useless, why wash? He went straight back to the restaurant. So, that's why devotees don't eat, try to avoid, things. So in India also, they have high standards. They don't take food from anybody. But when they see that, you are in the temple, you are worshipping Govinda, they trust you. Okay, you will probably have washed your hands. We can hope that you are washing your hands, and so you're with the Mahaprasad, then everybody's coming to take. So Indra didn't show enough enthusiasm for Durvasa's prasadam garland, and so everything was lost. Everybody was suffering. Paradise was suffering. And all the demigods got together. Who did we read about? We read about Indra, Varuna. So all water is ruled by Varuna. Indra, our arms are ruled by Indra. So all the demigods, they control the universe, but they couldn't find a solution. They could not find a solution. There was a trouble, they could not find a solution. So they go to Lord Brahma. Does Lord Brahma have a solution? No. He doesn't. He says, let's go to the big boss. That's his solution. Let's go to the big boss. Does Ajita say, oh, no worries, I'll just snap my fingers and that's it? No. He says, oh, you need to do some heavy work. Which work? Let's take the blender to the ocean. Blender. To the ocean and make whipped nectar from the ocean. Whip up some nectar from the ocean. And it's a heavy work. They actually fainted several times out of exhaustion. You will read. They fell tired. They fell tired. People can actually die from exhaustion. There was this, what was his explorer of Antarctic who wanted to reach the South Pole, and he had a phone, he had everything, and he was just something like 20 kilometers away from the South Pole. 20 kilometers was remaining. But he felt he is exhausted. So he called in, and they took him by the, I think, helicopter or something. They took him back. And he died in a hospital 3 weeks later of exhaustion. That was too late. He called in too late. He still died without even reaching. So it's not easy. So Vishnu revived them several times. Demigods and demons, they fell down of exhaustion, and he, no, get up, work. And they keep working, and then they churn and they produce nectar. So, in this world, trouble will be there. Now, your task is to find your personal preferred sort of trouble. Yes. So, if you eat your own trouble, you're okay. If you eat somebody else's trouble, not only you have trouble, you will also be wrong. Huh? Krishna says, no, better eat your own trouble even in the wrong way, rather than perfectly eat somebody else's trouble. That reminds me, I probably mentioned this a couple times already, but Manidhar Prabhu, he was put as a director of the restaurant in Stockholm, Govindas, by Hare Krišna. And he, it sounds good, be the director of a restaurant. If you don't know what means a restaurant and a director, you think, must be something good. You come there is sweet balarams and sweet ice cream. It must be a very good job. So he starts running this restaurant, and it's trouble. And it's a lot of trouble. So then he goes to Harikesh. He says, there is so much trouble, so many problems. And Harikesh chastises him. He says, a manager eats problems for breakfast. If there is no problem, if there is no trouble, you're not needed. We don't need you. You're happy. If you're a manager, you're happy that there is the problem. Because it means gives meaning to your life. Makes your life meaningful. Gives purpose to your life. So, trouble you cannot avoid. You just have to avoid the wrong sort of trouble. So everybody finds their own trouble. So a kshatriya, yes, what's his trouble? His trouble that he eats will be some attacks, will be some or lack of organization. Right? A Vaishya, what's his trouble? It will be some ineffective way to run the world, or lack of food, or lack of money. Who is a Vaishya? Vaishya is somebody who turns dirt into gold. There's 20 hectares of dirt. Jai Shri Panchatattva. And what does a Vaishya do? He can come naked. There actually are stories of totally naked businessmen. He came out of a forest. He lived in an Amazon forest with Indians for 7 years. He came out, and in 2 days he had 35 millions in New York. 2 days, yes. It's an amazing story. I forgot which book it was. How he $35 million. He just made friends with one. He opened some stand with food, kiosk with food in another. He made friends with another. He went to take a loan in a bank. With this loan in a bank, he made a down payment on a big skyscraper, and this skyscraper he offered to somebody else, and in 2 days he owned 35 millions. So from nothing, or like the field, it's dirt. It's dirt. So you just bring a few seeds. You don't have seeds, borrow, and then you put, and then you give a little love, and then you have a whole field of nice pumpkins. Then you have to, find a way to sell them and use them and so forth. Feed somebody. So, for the mother, the trouble she eats is pacifying the child, helping the child to grow. For the husband, the trouble he eats is pacifying the family, keeping the family on track. For a brahmana, the trouble you eat is what? What's the brahmana's preferred dish of troubles? So what's the trouble? Ignorance. Ignorance and quarrel, actually, theoretically. Ignorance and quarrel. So try to eat ignorance and quarrel and create peace and wisdom. Help people find light. So you can see here, they go to Brahma, Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma gets this trouble. And how does he respond to this trouble? He became bright-faced. They bring the trouble, and instead of becoming dark, he shines. And he has 4 faces to become bright-faced. Must be a lot of brightness. And what does he say? Oh yes, let's go to the big boss. and the chapter is called "The Demigods Appeal to the Lord." Let's help the universe. So you can see misery. Prabhupada is writing in the purport here that a devotee and devotees and demigods, he puts them in one line, are trying to convert all suffering into happiness. And it's a famous statement by a stoic existentialist psychologist, which devotees like to quote, Viktor Frankl, who was almost our neighbor, a professor from the Vienna University, right? So, and then another neighbor from another direction in Dachau, just 4 hours by car in Dachau. He was kept, so he said, don't look for happiness. If you look for happiness, you will be miserable. Look for meaning. Make your life meaningful. If you live a meaningful life, happiness will be a byproduct. It will just come. Same as, it's basically what Prahlad says in Canto 7. Prahlad says, Sukhaya dukha mokshaya sankalpaya karmena sadapnoti haya dukham nirihaya sukhavrita. Says all the karmis, all the fruitive enjoyers are looking for happiness and avoiding misery. But as soon as you want happiness, immediately you make suffering unavoidable. Unavoidable. You want happiness? Misery is unavoidable. But nirihaya, if you are free from selfish desires, happiness is unavoidable. You cannot avoid, he says, sukhavrita, you are coated in happiness. Happiness is your covering. You're soaked in happiness. So we need to know what is the meaning. Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita, there are many so-called scientists who suggest that perhaps it was like this or maybe like that. But there is no question of perhaps and maybe. There is a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is this plan for this world? Do you know the plan? If you know the plan, if you join the grand, how's it called? Grand design, the big plan. Is some special, the grand plan, the general plan for this world, from the big boss, everything is good. Then if you're helping this big plan, your life is meaningful, right? So what's the big plan? Please, dear devotees, you know. Who wants to offer? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back home, to go back to Godhead, back to home. Hare Krishna. Anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. Hare Krishna. So now you know the plan. You know the plan, you know what to do. Now just choose your trouble. Eat only your trouble. Help others. You need to help others. Eat, overcome their trouble. Avoid suffering too much in this world. And if somebody is too happy, then depression will strike. They say that depression is a protective reaction to help us move on, because otherwise our head is full of hot air. It's the American expression, and the head is full of air, you know, like a big balloon. So therefore depression is to deflate the balloon. I mean, it's one of the explanations, which sounds, of course, good in a lecture, but very painful in life. It's very painful in life. So also, from time to time, even demigods are in trouble. From time to time, even the main person in charge, Brahma, is in trouble. From time to time, the demons are winning. From time to time, Krishna will come and he will say, cooperate with the demons. He'll say, agree. Whatever the demons will say, please agree. He says, don't say no. Whatever they want, give them. He will say, after a few verses, he says, give everything they want. And demons usually self-destruct. Demonic is usually self-destructive. Yeah. That's because they have neglect for personality, for individuality, and all this. Be a sadhu, Prabhupada says, even impersonalists think of the welfare of all people. And as long as we are holding on to the big plan and turn to Krishna, appeal to Krishna, ask Krishna, please guide me, and are ready to move. Yesterday, who was it? Somebody, Krishna Dharma, I think, again, every day he posts a few aphorisms. He says, if you are asking Krishna to guide your steps, if you're asking Krishna to guide your steps, you have to be willing to make the steps. So the demigods are willing, they agree to eat all the trouble. Brahma is eating the trouble, offering the solution, and the result is that they get the nectar, which then immediately is stolen by the demons. But they don't lose hope, so Krishna comes and helps. And then the end is happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Questions, comments, points? Do you know what's your preferred sort of trouble is?
Thank you for inspiring lecture. Could I please ask, like the challenge, if we have some challenge, some trouble, and we don't make it successful, like if we fail in that test, in that trouble, how can we have the proper attitude so that we can do better next time?
Today I heard another aphorism: losing, you know, like there is victory, there is losing. Losing builds character. Hare Krishna. If there is no losing, then it's hard to understand where is the area that needs our attention. So if we fail, usually it helps us to understand maybe there is something that has to be adjusted. What's the proper way to do things? from my childhood I heard this proverb: "За одного битого двох небитих дають." I'm sure you will understand it. За одного битого двох небитих дають. For one who has been beaten, they offer two who have not been beaten. Meaning one beaten is already experienced. Is already experienced. So therefore he's worth two. So you are getting some experience. As long as we are prepared to serve Krishna and do something good for Krishna, as long as we are ready to offer our energy to relieve the trouble of others, we see that Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna also has trouble. What's his trouble? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Oh, how to help these poor idiots." He didn't say idiots, but that's the meaning. They harm themselves, these poor idiots. What to do? So then Haridas Thakur says, "No, we'll chant Hare Krishna." Oh, yes. He says, yes. Even barbarians, even the barbarians, they say Ram. They will say Ram, some names. They say Ram, they say Krishna. Hare Krishna, so no problem. And they will be saved. Okay, how about the plants? He says, even plants and insects, because we will go and sing aloud, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. They will also get benefit. Like that black, beautiful squirrel in the forest here. When I finally found that this is a squirrel, I was chanting Hare Krishna, so for a few seconds she was listening. What is that? Trying to figure out what is this language. Hare Krishna, what is he saying? So some benefit will be there. So Prabhupada says we see that a devotee is somebody who is trying to relieve, not increase, but not increase Krishna's trouble, but reduce Krishna's trouble. So Krishna's trouble is what? How to help. So everybody. So a devotee is trying to help, join the effort to help everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Do we have our daily inquirer?
Avatuta Roy Prabhu has a question.
Okay.
If the fighting pastimes of avatars in the material world are eternal, how they continue when all universes enter into Mahavishnu?
Okay, the eternal pastimes when universes enter they have a break. They put a sign, lunch break. They have a break, they rest, but it's just one breath. They get a breather. They catch their breath, and then the next Mahavishnu then exhales again, and there is enough living entities to populate the universes, and again he comes, performs pastimes. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
And then there is another question. In Srimad Bhagavatam 11.8.42, Vishwanath writes, actions either pious or sinful, recent or ancient, do not touch the devotee, just as water does not touch the lotus leaf. Question. Can you comment on this please, especially on pious and sinful activities? How is it that the devotee is not touched by them when devotees think whatever happens to them is because of karma?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and some other devotees, they insist that as soon as you say Hare Krishna, You have no more karma. Finished. Karma over. But obviously we are not perfect yet. So then we have some Krishna karma, meaning some training lessons. The example is given by Srila Prabhupada in Canto 1 that the difference is that a non-devotee, he gets the impersonal judgment from the material nature, but a devotee will be personally supervised by Krishna. Even the material nature will show very personal touch in the case of devotees. And because our mistakes and our conditioning will be the same as is in our karma, so therefore it will be very similar to our karma. So we can say, yes, it's my mistake, it's the result of my bad actions, it's a reaction to my mistakes. And it's a good mentality. But the difference is that karma is blind, impersonal, and unbreakable. It's like the automatic. Sometimes do you have to sometimes to call some service, and they have. If you have this and this problem, press 3. If you have that, if you want to listen, hear that and that, press 2. And there's no answer. If you want to talk to an operator, press 9 or something. Yeah. Some companies, basically, it's impossible to get a human. There's no human. You're going round, no human. So that's karma. That's karma. It's just blind, going round and round, and just, no, you suffer. You pay. The good companies, I think what they did, they made it very easy to get to a human. They don't spare money on humans. And they hire humans, they train the humans, and I think it's like one of the first options that you get a human. So, being a devotee is that immediately you get in touch with somebody who looks and he says, oh, there is this little mistake, or press this little button, or do this, or we will reset. No worry, forget it. We will reset. They do something. Yeah? You have this experience, maybe. Some stupid stuff, You didn't get something, you didn't press, and then it gets stuck. But a human says, forget it. We will do something. And they reset, and it works. So a devotee doesn't have this blind, impersonal karma, which is like a swamp. It's going round and round and round, and until you suffer enough, it doesn't end. You are in touch with Krishna, who is ready to help you get out of this cycle, of this vicious cycle, as soon as you change your mentality, your consciousness, and even if some situations are not possible to change, to correct, like, everybody has to die. If somebody has lived, the body is finished, okay, they can extend 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but everybody dies. So death will be there, but it will be with Krishna's inspiration, Krishna's company, Krishna's association, Krishna's blessings, and Krishna consciousness. So it will not be this blind, useless going in circles like in the material world. There will be at least guidance. So you are not chained anymore. You are not chained. You are a free human who is moving to the spiritual world. Okay? Some other points? Everything clear? Okay, so manager eats problems for breakfast. but we have different diets. So let's digest properly, choose the proper diet, and offer everything to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhyascha.